So on the part, presentation of the parts without Form 1, I think that was another very good example of scalability and proportionality. And Stefano presented the conditions and limits of this new possibility. So we noted the questions on standardization, awareness of NAA inspectors, on the new regulatory provisions. We heard the frustration expressed by some about the delays with the DOA. And there were some questions related to interaction with POA, so we take those on board. On the non-rechargeable lithium batteries, I think that was a very good presentation, showing again pragmatism and clarity provided by EASA. On proportionality, that was quite a dense presentation. So we heard from industry expectations from consistency and level playing field, wish for more reactivity, more efficiency, less redundancy. SMS and ISMS were mentioned. So all these elements are taken on board, and I'll come back to that in my conclusions. On suspected and approved parts, I think that was an interesting presentation and a good example of cross-directorate work at EASA on a topic with high safety impact. I found very interesting the presentation on DOA for startups, and I noted some of the challenges like diversity, how it can bring challenges as well. What was music to my ears as the next chief of the section in charge of international was that the EASA and EU international footprint is a real benefit for a startup in the EU, so that was nice to hear. I also noted that the leadership that the agency has exercised on eVTOL in building the right regulatory framework was appreciated and helped our industry, which was the objective. I also noted with great interest the benefits of the DOA process that were highlighted, and also the challenges that you had to face, finding competent staff, contributing to standard development in addition to your high workload as a startup, evolving in a fluid and regulatory environment, and a DO-PO relationship. And on the last presentation, I think the main takeaway is that there is a high interest for ISMS. So we knew that, and that's why we are working on this workshop. So maybe a few comments on my side to conclude. My main takeaway from those 3 days are that industry is expecting from us predictability. That's something I heard a lot. Pragmatism and result orientation. Consistency. And maybe one word on consistency. I would like to highlight a little bit to complement what Manfred said this morning. I think consistency is fine, but it's a dilemma for us, because if we are going too far into consistency, we end up with people ticking boxes. I think we should bear in mind that we have very competent staff, very competent DOA team leaders in particular, and we wish to build on their engineering judgment. So that's the other side of the coin. If you want to rely on people's skills, yes, sometimes there might be different views. We have mechanisms to reconcile those views. We have the 4I principle. When there is a doubt, we are working on an escalation process. But we still want to give a degree of freedom to our people who are experts in assessing every individual situation. And that's something which I would like to highlight at this stage. So for those of you who are here on Monday, you heard my colleague Michael Singer say that we welcome feedback. We push for reporting culture in your organizations, but this applies to us as well. During those 3 days, we had a lot of constructive feedback. We will act on it. It's very important. And we realize that if we don't act on it, you will stop providing us feedback. So we take it very seriously as a management team. I still would like, before concluding, to pass a message to my teams. Some of them approached me at the break and said, well, the feedback was sometimes a bit negative. In French, we have the proverb saying a tree should not hide the forest. So I think a tree of a few points to improve should not hide the forest of the overwhelming satisfaction that I heard in many, many discussions. And this was very well highlighted by Ian in his presentation on Monday for those who were there. But some of my team members were not here. So the way the management team receives all this feedback is really that industry is focusing on things to improve. And most of us are engineers. We like to fix issues. We like to improve systems. but it doesn't mean to say that the system is not functional. And I think overall there is a good recognition of the nice spirit, the positive mindset of the DOI team leaders. And personally, I'm very proud to be leading that team. So I wanted to say that also in conclusion. And I think the key word is really partnership. I was talking with Dieter from Rolls-Royce Scotland at the break, and he was highlighting that, and I fully agree. I think we have the common goal, which is to ensure safety. We come with different perspectives, but very often we converge on pragmatic ways to achieve safety.